Hello everyone, welcome back to 说说 Chinese, 说说中文. I'm Shuo, your Chinese native speaking teacher living in Bangkok, Thailand. In today's video, I want to share with you a method that I've been using to learn languages myself, and I've been recommending to many of my students. You may be a complete beginner now, but by using this method, you will be able to express yourself freely in Chinese much sooner than you think. And this method works especially well for the Chinese language due to a relatively exclusive feature of the Chinese language, and that is the Chinese grammar or the Chinese sentence structure is actually super simple. You probably only need about 2 weeks to study the basic Chinese grammar structure. But what you have learned in these 2 weeks is beneficial for 80% of the future Chinese speaking scenarios. This method includes 3 steps. First, study the basic Chinese grammar thoroughly, which, like I just mentioned, is super easy. I could even summarize the main idea of Chinese grammar within 1 minute. Ready? If not, consider a few exceptions. There are only 2 basic sentence structures of the Chinese language. First, subject, verb, object. For example, 我爱你. Second, subject, degree, adjective. For example, 我很高兴. As for all the other parts you see in a however long sentence, we call them, how about, helpers. The position of helpers follows the essential rule, which I've explained in detail in this video and this video. In short, the essential rule is, if A describes B, A comes before B. If A is a result of B, A comes after B. Let me explain this with a simple example. Let's translate this English sentence into Chinese. I learn Chinese with Shuo at home. The subject is 我. Verb is 学习. Object is 中文. And here are 2 helpers. With Shuo and at home. With Shuo describes how I learn Chinese. So we put it before learn Chinese. 和硕学习中文. And at home describes where I learn Chinese with Shuo. So we put it before with Shuo learn Chinese. 在家和硕学习中文. So the Chinese translation is 我在家和硕学习中文. I won't spend much time explaining the essential rule in this video, but I highly recommend watching these 2 videos, which I'm sure will change your whole idea about learning Chinese. And you can also check out my Chinese grammar structure review plan course, in which I've already summarized 18 basic grammar points for you with tons of examples for each grammar point. Spend about 2 to 4 weeks on this course thoroughly, you can expect to have a clear understanding of the basic Chinese grammar structure, and your brain will start to think in Chinese. From today to November 27, apply the coupon code 说说20. You can get a 20% discount on all the online courses of 说说 Chinese. Just make sure you type my name right. Second step. Study some common and simple vocabulary. You only need 150 words to pass the HSK1 test and another 150 for HSK2. And the 300 words are enough for you to describe most things in your daily life. Let me show you an example. First of all, I will show you a paragraph written in English. Now you have 10 seconds to think about how to tell this story in Chinese. You can also pause this video if you need more time. 最近不知道为什么每天都非常热。 我很高兴，我不要去公司工作。我可以在家工作。我的家有 air conditioning。我比较喜欢在家工作，因为在公司有很多人会跟我聊天，问我问题。现在，如果我的公司的朋友不要现在知道这个问题，他们就不给我打电话。最近不知道为什么，每天都非常热。我很高兴，我不要去公司工作。我可以在家工作。我的家有 air conditioning。我比较喜欢在家工作，因为在公司有很多人会跟我聊天，问我问题。现在，如果我的公司的朋友不要现在知道这个问题，他们就不给我打电话。Did you notice that I just used HSK 122 vocabulary and talked about something that seemed like needed much more advanced words to describe? And this is how you can use limited words to talk about unlimited topics. You can use the simple words to describe the words that you haven't learned. And you can also add one or two English words to your Chinese sentence to keep the fluency. But make sure you still use the Chinese sentence structure, only use the English words. I will show you more exercises, but it's your turn to retell the story in Chinese. Leave your answers in the comments. But of course, as a beginner, your Chinese probably sounds still a bit unnatural. That's why we need the third step. Now you're familiar with the basic grammar structure and most of the HSK 122 vocabulary. What you should do is not continue investing loads of time on learning new vocabulary and the so-called grammar. What works the best for you at this phase is to increase your output. Speak, talk to people, use the language. Use the method I've just mentioned in the second step to talk around the words that you haven't learned yet. Or if you find there are some words that you really want to say in Chinese or you don't know how to describe them, look them up and use them immediately in your conversation. But I don't have any Chinese friends. Who should I speak Chinese with? There are many websites and apps that can help you find Chinese-speaking tutors and language partners, such as italki, Preply, or HelloTalk, etc. I can't. I panicked even before speaking to Chinese people, and I felt like I couldn't think of anything. Then you can talk to yourself. Create different scenarios, such as a job interview, a housewarming party, or a first date, etc. Act as different characters. Ask questions and answer them. You can also write those conversations down if you want to be 100% sure. Other than conversations, you can also try to describe some different scenarios. Give yourself a random topic. Try to use as many words you've learned as possible to describe this topic. You can, for example, introduce a family member or a friend. Tell people about your kitchen or say something about the city that you live in. Some of my students even started keeping a journal in Chinese. In my online course for Chinese beginners, I've designed different speaking scenarios for you. In every lesson, you will have tons of opportunities to express your ideas with your newly gained knowledge. Different from many other Chinese courses, the Ultimate Beginner's Handbook course focuses on improving practical application of the language. so that you turn your theoretical knowledge into practice. And trust me, this is the online course that can give you the experience of the live one-on-one sessions with an affordable price. Don't forget that you can apply the coupon code 说说20 to get a 20% discount. This deal ends at November 27, and this is the best deal of the year. Don't wait for another year. But my vocabulary is like 一点点. Am I really able to communicate freely in Chinese? Well, what if I tell you that you can actually speak much more Chinese than you think? Let me elaborate it with a simple example. Let's say you've just learning Chinese for 10 minutes, and you have remembered 8 words. 你好,你好吗? We don't really use this one in our real life, but it's still useful for learning. You will know why soon. 这是什么? And also some words to answer this question. 手机, so we can say 这是手机. 苹果. 电脑. 吃饭. 买东西. Now, let's be creative. How do you say buy apples? 买苹果. How do you say eat apples? 吃苹果. How do you say eat hands? Like the babies, they eat their fingers. 吃手. And how do you say good stuff? 好东西. How do you say iPhone? Which is an Apple phone. 苹果手机. How do you say, are you gonna buy an iPhone? 你买苹果手机吗? I can keep going, but you get the idea. This is the list of words that we are able to create after learning 8 words. Imagine how many words you can actually say after learning 300 words. So, learning Chinese or start learning Chinese is really easy, and it is not the clickbait. Step 1. Get familiar with the basic Chinese grammar structure, which only takes about 2 to 4 weeks. Step 2. Study 300 basic words and create much more by combining the new knowledge with the old. Step 3. Talk, speak, and describe, even just with yourself. And you can get past the beginner's level much faster than you think. If you take a look at my website, 说说Chinese.com, you will notice that the design or the philosophy of all the 说说 Chinese courses is based on the method that I mentioned in this video. For beginners, I've created a course that focuses on speaking, which can help Chinese beginners really use what they have learned. For upper beginners, the Structure Review Plan course provides a clear picture of the Chinese grammar system. And after that, instead of making more courses, 说说 Chinese offers group conversational classes aimed to help more advanced level students improve their ability in expressing their ideas in Chinese, both in daily communication as well when holding deeper conversations. So if you're ready to start learning Mandarin Chinese, or you want to improve your Chinese level, make sure you check my website 说说Chinese.com through the link in my description box. So this is all the content of today's video. I will see you in my next video. 再见。